Let's talk now to Pat McFadden from the Labour Party, who joins us from Westminster as well. Good to see you, as always, Pat. Look, I'm just reading through what Keir Starmer's going to be saying later on today. It's all mood music. That's the problem, isn't it? It's all, well, we need change, we can bring change, but there's nothing concrete in here.
Well, let me go through some of the policies he refers to in the speech that you've got in front of you. He's going to talk about halving violence against women and girls. He's going to talk about setting up a publicly owned energy company, GB Energy, to drive the energy transition that we need. He's going to be talking about our plan for 2 million more hospital procedures. He's going to be talking about our plan for more neighbourhood policing paid for through savings on procurement. He's going to be talking about our plan for a better deal for working people through ending 0 hours contracts and this policy of fire and rehire that some employers have organised. So there's plenty of policy meat in this speech, but the big message is people won't get this change unless they vote for it. And in this election year, there's a really important underlying theme, which is the power doesn't rest in the hands of the politicians or the civil servants or the media, really. It rests in the hands of the voters. And that is a humbling and awesome thing. And that's at the heart of the speech that he's making today. If people want change, they have to vote for it.
Also, but what are they voting for? Because this is what he also says. We are a changed Labour Party, no longer enthralled to gesture politics, no longer a party of protest, but a party of service. Well, how do we know that?
Well, I think through the changes he's made in the 4 years that he's become leader, and it's not just a change of policy or a rule change here or there, it's a real change in Labour's job description. What he's saying there is that we'd become too interested in ourselves in the past and forgetting the first duty of service to the public, and that's at the heart of his leadership. So the Labour Party's job is to serve the public. It's clause 1 of our constitution. We lost sight of that for a while. We've rediscovered our true job description under Keir Starmer's leadership. So the point about a changed Labour Party is really important when it comes to the election, whenever that comes.
I mean, on that point, the starting gun has been fired on election year, but we don't know when the general election is actually going to be. It could be 10, 11 months away. Are you concerned about voter apathy? How are you going to keep the momentum going for the next potentially 10 or 11 months? How are you going to get people to the polls, and how are you going to get people excited about the Labour Party?
Well, I don't think there's any point in 5 more months of the Tories, let alone 5 more years. But I don't have the power to set the date for the election. I think the Prime Minister's sitting there in Downing Street hoping that something will turn up, something will change the fortunes of the Conservative Party. My job as Labour's election coordinator is to make sure that we are ready whenever the starting gun really is fired. You're right, the starting gun on the long campaign, as we'd call it, has already been fired. The date is yet to be determined. But that second thing that you said there about motivating people is really important, because I think there is a mood that nothing can change, that this is as good as it can get. We don't believe that. We believe the country can change. We are ambitious for Britain. That's why I went through that policy list that I did at the start of the interview. None of these things are going to come from the Conservatives. People will only get them from a change of government, and that will only happen if people go and vote for it. And that's going to be a continued theme throughout the year.
Oh, do you know, I thought you were going to burst into things can only get better there, Pat, from what you were saying. Really good to see you this morning. Thanks very much indeed.